the final day of its term, the Supreme Court issued a ruling that could totally reshape how presidential policies are challenged in court. The case in question, of course, involved President Trump's executive order to end birthright citizenship. Federal judges from multiple states blocked that policy nationwide, calling it unconstitutional. But today's high court decision was not about the merits of Trump's actual policy. The justices ruled 6-3 that federal judges overstepped their authority when they issued those nationwide injunctions. Our Lauren Toms dives into the sweeping implications this decision could have on cases going forward.
The U.S. Supreme Court's ruling on nationwide injunctions marks a win for presidential power, says UC law professor David Levine. It also greatly reduces the power of federal judges to act as a check on the president.
Think of it like a tool that was in the toolbox of federal judges. And they had been using it sometimes, not all the time, but sometimes they would take it out and use it. But what the Supreme Court has said is, no, stop using that tool.
Levine, who's taught this concept of nationwide or universal injunctions for decades, says the 6-3 decision changes the power of federal judges.
This is really also a decision based on common sense.
The impact of the ruling will play out in federal courthouses like this one, as judges will have to narrow the scope of their rulings.
But if you can no longer have a nationwide injunction, then the law might be different whether you're in Chicago or whether you're in Texas or whether you're in New Mexico. It'll vary in different places.
San Francisco City Attorney David Chu says the impact will be felt locally and quickly.
If today's decision says anything, it emphasizes how important it is for cities like San Francisco and states like California to defend our rights against this administration, to be in the fight. Because we can no longer expect to benefit from other parties when they win court challenges. We have to be in the fight ourselves to ensure that we can vindicate the interests of San Francisco.
The use of nationwide injunctions dates back to the 60s, gaining traction under the Obama administration and even more under President Trump.
Now let's break it down for you. Under George W. Bush, 6 nationwide injunctions were issued. Under Obama, that number doubled with 12 nationwide injunctions issued. And under Trump's first term, that number skyrocketed. He had more than 5 times the number of nationwide injunctions issued under Obama with 64. And under Biden, 14 nationwide injunctions were issued. In each presidency, most, if not all, of these injunctions came from a judge appointed by a president of the opposing party.
Levine says those numbers are no coincidence, pointing to the wave of controversial decisions under the Trump administration. In the majority opinion written by Justice Amy Coney Barrett, she wrote, quote, "The injunctions likely exceed the equitable authority that Congress has given to federal courts."
What Justice Barrett is doing is saying, no exception. Follow the general rules.
The Supreme Court ruling does leave the door open for class action lawsuits as a way to broadly challenge federal policy. Several groups immediately filed new class action suits today in hopes of blocking the birthright citizenship order.